You've probably seen this image of storyboards from famous mangaka, and if you haven't, here it is. And if you're like me, after seeing this, you probably ran off to go storyboard for your own manga, believing that a few stick figures and some scribbles were all you needed to lay on a page to plan your chapter. I mean, it seems super simple, the pros do it, right? But I was about to find out that the devil was indeed in the details. Hey guys, I'm Fifi, and here are 4 mistakes that I made that royally screwed up my manga storyboards. The final mistake is one that all creatives are absolutely terrified of, but I'm gonna give you the secret sauce so that you can conquer it. Let's get right in, and we start off with my first mistake: inadequate planning. So there I was, a wide-eyed manga enthusiast, convinced that my experience publishing novels would carry me through the intricate world of manga creation. I dove headfirst into chapter 1 of my manga Treehouse. I was so eager to bring my characters to life and to share their adventures with everyone. But there was one critical aspect that I grossly underestimated: planning. I mean, who needed elaborate plans and detailed storyboards when the scenes were constantly on repeat in my head? At least that is what I believed. It didn't take long for me to realize the fallacy in my thinking there. I was navigating the complex waters of visual storytelling without a map, and believe me, it showed. My scenes felt disjointed, the narrative flow was far from seamless, and I often found myself rewriting or redrawing entire sections of the chapter. It was like trying to build a puzzle without knowing what the final picture should look like. You don't do that. How do you do that? It was a chaotic mess, and I knew that I needed a change. It was time to embrace planning, something I greatly underestimated, if I'm being honest. I started by outlining the key events and character developments for that chapter in the manga, and ensuring that each scene had some kind of specific purpose to advance the plot or individual character arcs. I made sure to pay closer attention to the pacing as I was drafting out my storyboard, making sure that the story flowed smoothly, but also kept readers engaged. The change was completely transformative. With a well-planned narrative, I not only save time, but I also feel more confident in my storytelling. I feel like when I'm working on my storyboards, my scenes are no longer disjointed and the flow of the story feels so much more natural. I think the characters' journeys also become more compelling and interesting. Mistake 2. Have you ever heard of thumbnail sketches? It's okay if you haven't, because I didn't at first either. If you're not doing this, you're storyboarding your manga the wrong way. So, what are thumbnail sketches? Well, you can think of them as rough drafts for your manga pages. They're tiny, quick, and often messy little sketches that help you plan out the layout and flow of your pages. It's basically like a blueprint, and for a house, you wouldn't want to start building without a plan, right? But I did just that, and I'm sure some of you probably are doing that too. I just couldn't wait to dive into the detailed drawings, and I did not want to waste time doing what I thought was duplicate work, which was redrawing the same pictures over and over and over again just for the sake of planning. But here's the catch: those little thumbnail sketches aren't a waste of time at all. In fact, they save you time in the long run. With thumbnail sketches, you can experiment with different panel arrangements, you could test out how the pacing feels, all of these things to ensure that the flow of your story is just right. And they also allow you to make mistakes and adjustments without the pressure of finalizing everything. You don't have to worry about inking because you're kind of just sketching at this point. So my second lesson in storyboarding was abundantly clear. Thumbnail sketches are absolutely not optional. They are the foundation of a well-structured manga. These little scribbles might not look like much, but they are the secret to creating a story that flows seamlessly and ultimately saves you time and frustration. Okay, everything that I've mentioned before is important, but this next one is really important, and I can just hear the collective deep sighs coming. But neglecting this crucial element was one of my major blunders in the storyboarding process. Neglecting backgrounds. Mistake 3. Professional mangaka hire assistants to draw their backgrounds because no one wants to do it. Well, guess what? We're not pros. Yet, my friends. I'll be honest, creating backgrounds can be a bit daunting, especially when your focus is on the characters and their emotions. I thought, hey, you know what? The characters are the heart of my story, right? The backgrounds, I could kind of squeeze by. They're kind of secondary. It was a belief that many aspiring manga creators share, and I was no exception at all. I found, though, that my world, Glory Peak, felt strangely empty in my storyboards. The characters moved through scenes that lacked setting details, and it made the world seem completely lifeless lifeless and incomplete. It was like having a vibrant cast of characters, but placing them in barren white void boxes. I realized that the backgrounds are not just mere backdrops. They're really essential storytellers in their own right. They have the power to enhance the narrative and also convey moods in a scene. They also, most importantly, provide vital context for the actions that your characters take. Neglecting backgrounds means missing out on opportunities to enrich your overall storytelling experience. So, I began to pay closer attention to them and setting details overall. I thought hard about the type of country that Glory Peak is, basically giving some life to the place that they live. And as I incorporated backgrounds into my storyboards, I saw a really remarkable transformation. It was like I myself was stepping into Glory Peak alongside of my characters. I could feel the grandeur of the Nosferry Circus, the enchantment of every nook and cranny. Neglecting backgrounds was a misstep that left my world feeling empty, but it was a valuable way to show just how important that they really are. Now, let's talk about the final mistake, the one that I said that most of us are afraid of. A mistake that was rooted in my own pride and fear. A failure to seek feedback. In the early stages of my manga creation journey, I was operating in a bubble of creative isolation. Sharing my work with others felt completely daunting. What if they didn't get it? What if they didn't see what I saw in my storytelling and art? These insecurities held me back, and it was a huge mistake. Feedback is really the key to growing and improving, but I was treating it like a bag of tiny darts ready to be thrown at me. Like every piece of feedback was a dangerous attack telling me that I sucked, and so did my story. I believe that by keeping my work private, I could protect it from criticism. But what I failed to realize is that criticism, when constructive, and solicited, most importantly, it's a powerful tool for progress. And as a result of my aversion to feedback, I missed out on valuable insight and perspectives. I couldn't see the blind spots in my storytelling, the inconsistencies in my art, or areas where my characters or the plot needed refinement. And so I continued to make the same mistakes, often repeating them every time I went to storyboard something. It wasn't until I made this very YouTube channel that everything changed for me. I finally had the confidence to put my work out there, and I realized that I can only see things through my own lens. I realized that seeking feedback didn't diminish my creative vision, it actually enhanced it. It allowed me to see my work through fresh eyes, to uncover all kinds of hidden flaws, and to tap into the collective wisdom of those who share my passion for manga. And as a result of seeking feedback, my storytelling became more refined. My art evolved tremendously, and Ye Olde Treehouse is slowly but surely growing and going strong. The fear of feedback was replaced by an eagerness to learn and grow. It was a transformation that enriched my creative journey, and I think brings my manga to a new level of quality. So the lesson here is clear. Don't let the fear of criticism hold you back. Embrace feedback as a valuable tool for growing and improving for your own work. If you do this, you'll allow yourself to reach the highest of heights of storytelling that you're capable of. In the end, the mistakes that I made in storyboarding weren't setbacks, but they were stepping stones. They were the challenges that pushed me to evolve and learn, and ultimately work to create a manga that I'm so excited to share with you. My hope is that my journey can serve as some kind of guide for fellow manga creators and storytellers of all kinds out there. Whether you're creating a manga, you're writing a novel, or pursuing any other creative endeavor, remember, clarity in storytelling is not just about avoiding mistakes, but it's about embracing them and using them to fuel your creative fire. Until next time, bye.